Expat Lifestyle with Pads, and welcome to Egypt. I want to share with you in this episode how I travelled here, but more importantly my experiences here exploring the only ancient wonder of the world still in existence. And we flew with Italian Airlines and they were great. Now, to make our transition here in Cairo very easy, I used a tour guide, and I'll share with you all of the details in the video description below. But basically we have a very close friend, a colleague we worked with in Beijing 2 years ago. He moved here to Cairo and has been working here ever since, and you know, we are good mates. He put us onto a great tour guide that his parents used, very professional. So anyway, we were picked up from the airport, driven here to the Marriot directly. We're staying, as you can see, very close to the pyramids, and we've had a tour organised for the 3 days that we're here. Yesterday, for instance, we went to Sakkara and visited the Step Pyramid, the oldest and largest pyramid in Egypt. It goes back to 2650 BC, just amazing. And then we visited the Grand Egyptian Museum, which is not quite open, but it is massive, and you'll see a little bit of that in the footage to follow. Today we're going to the Egyptian Museum, the original museum in the city of Cairo, you know, where King Tutankhamun's treasures and so on are on display. But everything is moving out to the Grand Egyptian Museum, the gem, very soon, probably later this year. And that museum's just behind me. It's very close to the Giza pyramids. Okay, so today then we're visiting the Egyptian Museum, and then we're coming back to the Giza pyramids here where the Sphinx is and so on, and we're going to explore that area just behind me. Tomorrow, Dahshur, which has the bent pyramid, the red pyramid, and then we fly back to Italy tomorrow afternoon. So it's quite a quick visit here in Cairo. As I said, the tour guide's fantastic. I'll put all of the details in the video description below, the itinerary, the contact details, because I truly do believe she'll put together a great package for you. The tour guide we've had, Mena, she's been great too. I love her positive language. She says when you will return, and yeah, we're looking at perhaps a Nile cruise and so on. There's a lot to see here in Egypt. Very safe. So look, I hope you enjoy this video, and by the way, thank you for everyone's support to date. Numbers are growing, and it's very motivating and exciting for me, so thank you. But as always, you know, thumbs up, share, bell notifications on, and subscribe. I hope you enjoy this episode here in Cairo at the pyramids. Behind me, the Step Pyramid at Sakkara. Did you know the largest and oldest pyramid here in Egypt, built BC, now listen to this, 2650 BC, built for one man, King Sosa. It's a remarkable place, and really just built for the afterlife. Have a look at some of this footage. How did they do it? All farmers. During the wet season, they were here 3 or 4 months a year, I guess. So the king commissioned this job to be completed while he was still alive, for when he died. Certainly have lots of the local currency, the Egyptian pound, with you. The highest note is a 200 pound note, then 100, and but have smaller notes with you. It just makes it so much easier for all those little transactions that happen throughout the day. For instance, you know, yesterday the bathroom visit, 10 Egyptian pound, and you freak out. You're thinking, oh my goodness, that's ridiculous. But that works out to be 20 euro cents. So keep that in mind Okay, the value of the Egyptian pound's quite low, obviously, at the moment. So you do get a fair bit for your foreign currencies, you know, whether it's euro or US dollars. Okay, so have a bundle of small local notes in your pocket. Those transactions, as I said, happen all the time. For instance, I was filming the pyramid and had a nice little angle coming in, and in comes a very authentic fella on his donkey. Just happened to trot into the scene that I was filming, and then just happened to put on a perfect pose for me. So that was a little transaction, as you can see in this footage. But that's a transaction, and I gave him 100 Egyptian pound. That was the smallest note I had. And you start to freak out. My goodness, 100 pound, but that's €1.95. He was happy, I was happy. Yeah, so by having small currencies, it'll just help you through those little transactions that happen throughout the day. Okay, you need good back flexibility, I'm telling you right now, to get into this tomb. So behind me is the sarcophagus of King Teti, his burial chamber. We've come down a pretty steep tunnel, I guess, from the entrance. It's pretty full on to get in, by the way. Unfortunately, grave robbers, again, stole everything a long time ago. But we're down in the belly of this pyramid. Importantly, transport. Don't try and hire a car and do it yourself, because the roads are absolutely crazy out there. Get yourself a private driver for the duration of your stay, and they'll take you everywhere you want to go, relatively cheap too. So this morning we're off to the Egyptian Museum. They started building it in 1897 and it was completed in 1901. And Amir's just told me here that if you wanted to see every item in the museum, it's going to take you 9 months. So you better book a long holiday here to spend some time. So I'm going to, once we get there, I'll show you a few of the great items that are on display. And Amira has just said, after we visit the Egyptian Museum, she's going to take us to a cafe, the best coffee you've ever had. I said to her, that's a big call. That is a big call. So stay tuned. Now the Egyptian Museum, just in front.
One from the most beautiful statues we have. Why? Because it's a fort.
So behind me, the treasures of Tutankhamun. Now I can't take the camera in, unfortunately, no photos. They're actually catching people in there, deleting off their phones and so on. So you just have to take it in visually, a memory. So if you want to see Tutankhamun's death mask, it's fantastic. I guess you'll have to come here, have a look for yourself. Now the Tutankhamun death mask was just amazing, but no cameras inside, and you can understand that, but there we go. Hey, it's not bad, it's not bad. Best in the world. And look, welcome to the Mena house, Marriot. As you can see, just near the Giza pyramids. And this is my recommendation. Don't stay downtown, stay close to the Giza area, okay? Look, I'll just show you around. The rooms, hotel rooms, they're quite nice. Facilities, the grounds are beautiful. Hey, check this out. More than 2,300,000 limestone and granite blocks were pushed, pulled and dragged into place to build the Great Pyramid. So bargaining, the bartering, always good fun, and you've got to go with an attitude to have a bit of fun, because when you're changing numbers by hundreds, we're only changing it by €2 or €3, so keep that in mind. But here's an example. We bought 2 little trinkets yesterday, one a little Sphinx and so on, and he started at 3,500 Egyptian pound. That's about €68. That's pretty high, isn't it? In the end, I walked away with those same 2 items for 800 Egyptian pound. So that worked out to be about 14 euro. Okay. The problem is you need a good wingman, and I had the tour guide with me, and she sort of, I think, was in cahoots with the market stall where I bought the trinkets, because I had a price at 700. She said, "Oh, you've got 200 more in your bag." That's not a good wingman. Be prepared to say no, walk away, and if they don't call you back, keep walking, because there's lots of other little market stalls around. Okay, have some fun with your bartering. Okay, so I had to change devices because the GoPro not allowed into the Grand Egyptian Museum, the gem, which is open but not officially open. It's a huge complex with an obvious pyramid theme. So having experienced a little snapshot of Cairo, my recommendation, my tip would be to make sure you have a reputable tour guide organised before you arrive. It just takes all the stress out of it. And look, we were met at the airport. The guy, Mohammed, had a visa. We had the car organised. We jumped in. We came straight here. And each day our tour guide has met us here at the hotel and with the driver, and we've gone out to the various sites. Very smooth, stress-free. Yes, it costs a little bit more, but I think that's the only way to do it. I wouldn't try to do it on the cheap, that's for sure. Look, with 17 million people living in Cairo and with a compromised economy, there are obvious infrastructure problems like roads, trash and pollution.
Totally different from our life in the city. Here you don't feel that.
Unfortunately, it's obvious to see. Nevertheless, Egypt is so awe-inspiring. The Dahshur pyramids, located about 40 kilometres south of Cairo, were built from 2613 to 2589 BC. And here is the bent pyramid. When King Sneferu saw it, he said, "You're not burying me in there because look at the shape of it, it's bent. You'll have to build me another one," which is what then happened. Look at this, the Red Pyramid, so called as it was back in the day, covered by a reddy brown outer layer, hence the name, the Red Pyramid. So King Sneferu, with his two pyramids, is the father of King Cheops, who has the largest pyramid at Giza, father-son. The architect who built these two pyramids here was the father of the architect who built the pyramid for King Cheops at Giza, father-son. I hope I haven't confused you, but to sum it up, let's keep it all in the family. Look at that. It does look quite bent, doesn't it? So yeah, fair enough. I wouldn't want to be buried in that either. Now let's go up and have a look inside. Pretty amazing, isn't it? Unbelievable. How was this constructed? What are some other words of expression? Far out comes to mind. And there's the Red Pyramid there, where King Sneferu ended up. He got his own way, as you do, being the king. So we're in the belly of the bent pyramid, the burial chamber, and it was quite tough to get in here, but these bats seem to be able to find their way in. So was it about 80 metres down, and then we had to climb up, then we went down. hard workout. Going down, wasn't it? Okay, so here we go at the Red Pyramid, which was built because the bent pyramid was bent, not satisfactory for a king. So we had another one built. Here we are, and he wanted to be buried in this one. And we can also go into So we've got the call to end the fast, and we're on a rooftop bar, Akemi, which is on top of the great white pyramid hotel. Have a look at that, wonderful. The Gem Museum. All the best. Here's the food. Expat Lifestyle with Bads. I hope you enjoyed this episode here with the pyramids. I've just tried to share a little bit of my experiences with you, but it's truly amazing. It really is. By the way, thumbs up, subscribe, bell notifications on. Hope to see you next episode. Probably back in Florence. Ciao.